So yesterday we have discussed about the linear operators. So when two operators are equal, okay. So two operators are equal. Basically, suppose I have operator A and another operator B. So these two operators are equal if A is equal to B. Okay, so we can write A equal to B if first one is the action of this operator on the vectors of that linear vector space should be same as the action of the vector B on those vectors. Okay, that is the first condition. And second one is, so A on any phi, okay, should be same as B on any phi. Okay. Second one is the domain of A should be equal to domain of B. Okay. So if the domain of A is equal to domain of B and the action of the vectors on that vector space are same, then we can actually say that A is equal to B. Another thing is we can define the norm of an operator. So we are discussing a norm of an operator. You know what is the norm of a vector. So how to define a norm of an operator, which is equal to supremum of every vector in the set of vectors in dA, because dA is the domain of the operator A. Then you calculate this quantity, that is, so A phi is basically the vector. So norm of this vector divided by norm of phi. So this is a least upper bound. Okay. So you take every vector which belongs to the domain of that operator, calculate this quantity. So what is this quantity? This quantity is this is, you already know, phi power 1 by 2. So this is the least upper bound of this quantity is basically the norm of that operator. So when will you say that the operator is bounded? An operator is bounded if the norm of that operator is less than infinity. Okay. An operator is bounded if the norm of that operator is less than infinity. Yeah?
Why we are taking supremum?
Why we are taking supremum? Okay. Huh. Yeah, because see, suppose you have in your domain, there are three vectors. The operator A, this is the domain of that operator. Suppose you have three vectors, phi 1, phi 2, phi 3. Okay, there are three vectors. So I can find out this quantity, that is A phi 1, A phi 1, right? So A phi 1 is, so what is A phi 1? So A phi 1 is A acting on phi 1. So this will be another vector, okay, in the same vector space. So you calculate this quantity, take the square root and find the norm of phi 1, divide it. Okay. So you can see that each phi 1, phi 2, phi 3, so there will be three numbers, right? There will be three numbers for the same operators. So I have to, so which one I will choose? So I have to choose the least upper bound. Okay. So I have to choose the least upper bound of these three numbers because they will be different. So the least upper bound is the norm of that operator. Is that clear?
Okay, sir.
Now we can discuss about the adjoint of an operator. So adjoint of an operator, so that we already discussed yesterday. So now what is self adjoint? If the operator A is equal to operator A dagger, okay, so these two are operators. If A is equal to A dagger, then we say that the operator A is self adjoint. Okay. So for this, what are the conditions? Because every action of this operator A and A dagger on its domain should be same, and the domain of A should be equal to domain of A dagger. So then we say that it is a self adjoint operator. Okay. So that is the general definition, because these two conditions should be satisfied. The domain of A dagger need not be same as domain of A. Okay. So domain of A dagger need not be same as domain of A in general. But if you want this to be a self adjoint, the domain should be same, and the action should be same. In general, the domain of A is a subset of domain of A dagger. Okay. Now suppose the operator is also bounded. So A is equal to A dagger and the operator is also bounded. Then we say that it is an Hermitian operator. So self adjoint operator and Hermitian operator, there is a slight difference. Okay. Because if A is equal to A dagger and it is bounded, we say that it is a self adjoint operator. It is an Hermitian operator. But usually any operator, if A is equal to A dagger, we say that it is, because physics people just say that it is an Hermitian operator. So finite dimensional vector spaces, yesterday I already talked. If I have an operator A, I can find out corresponding matrix representation. So finding the adjoint of operator is basically finding the complex conjugate transpose of this. So to check a finite dimensional vector operator in a finite dimensional vector space is a self adjoint, what you have to do is find A and find A dagger for the corresponding A and A dagger of the matrices and see whether they are equal. Okay. So is that clear regarding the self adjoint and Hermitian operator? Yeah. Yeah.
That the domain of A dagger is generally bigger than that of A.
Yes.
Is there a reason?
There is a is there a reason? Maybe some theory is there. Okay, so I have to look at that, but that is what basically. Okay, there will be some theory. Okay, so domain of A dagger is subset of, means A is subset of the dagger. Okay, there is some theory behind that. Okay. Okay, so now we have discussed the operators, some properties. Now let us look at some specific examples. Okay, so already we know that X is an operator, and if I have generally a wave function or a state, okay, you can write it as, because usually any quantum mechanical state will be a function of time. Okay, so state changes in time, so that is why time t I written down here. Now if I do this, okay, so this is equal to x psi of t. So you know that this quantity is the wave function x psi x comma t. Okay. So is this step clear to all of you?
Sir, the first step is not clear. The second step is clear.
Okay, so we know that the operator x acting on ket x is x ket x. Okay, so if you go to the bra space, okay, so x is a number, so this will become bra x just a simple number. So this one bra x dagger. Okay, so this x is a position operator, so x is a position operator, so this is the adjoint of x. So question is whether x is equal to x dagger. Whether x is equal to x dagger. So this is what you have to find out. Okay. So the answer is yes. Okay. Answer is yes. This one I will not do. I will do another problem which is difficult than this. Okay. Then you can do why x is equal to x dagger. Okay. There is also other physical reason. X is actually the position operator. So this is something you measure in the lab. It is an observable. Okay. So every observable, the operator corresponding to every observable should be Hermitian or self-adjoint. Okay. So in that reason x should be equal to x dagger. Okay, that is a physical way of saying, but you can show that this one. But before doing this, I will show you something. Because now you take x is equal to x dagger. So if that is the case, you will get this one, right? So, right, if x is equal to x dagger, you get this. Yes or no? If x is equal to x dagger, you get this, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
So now consider the operator p. We are now just talking about the one dimensional case. So what is the p operation? So the basic thing in quantum mechanics is the commutator of the operator x with the p is equal to I h cross. Okay. The operator x and p do not commute each other. So you have the I h cross. So this is actually the starting point of the quantum mechanics. Okay. So this condition is there. So now what is this quantity x p operator so this is defined. Actually you may because any quantum mechanics textbook will actually do this problem, okay, because it is the generator of momentum is a generator of translation, right? So from that you can actually find out this, but right now I state this. So this is equal to minus I d by dx, so h cross is there, minus I h cross d by dx Okay, so this quantity is this one. So we can see that the P operator is basically minus IH cross d by dx. Okay. So the whatever statement I said earlier, I said that the position is something we measure in the lab, it is an observable. So corresponding operator should be in Hermitian. So momentum is also another observable. So this also should be Hermitian. So whether P is equal to P dagger, that is the question. But what we are getting is P is basically minus IH cross d by dx. What is the dagger of this? Minus I will become plus I. So you can see that obviously the d by dx dagger should be equal to minus d by dx. Then only P is equal to P dagger. So we have to find out the dagger or the adjoint of the operator d by dx. Okay. So that should be minus d by dx. So what we want to show is d by dx dagger is equal to minus d by dx. So that we will show now. Okay. It's a very important concept. Any questions so far? So now we want to find out the adjoint of the operator d by dx. So that is our aim. For that purpose, let us take an operator A and try to find out this quantity. So now if you introduce a completeness relation, one completeness relation for the position basis here and another completeness relation for the position basis here. So that will give you two integrals dx prime bra f x x is an operator A G. Again one more completeness relation, the x prime G. So this quantity is f star of x, this quantity is g of x prime. So now let us call this quantity as d by dx delta x minus s prime. Let us take it because our job is to find out the d by dx conjugate, the adjoint. So if you substitute this one in this, so what are you going to get is integral dx prime f star of x. So this one will substitute as delta x minus x prime d by dx g of x prime. So here one integral you can remove because this delta function property, and so we get, let us keep the x integral dx f star x d by dx of g of x. You can see that as an abstract operator between the vectors f and g has become the corresponding position representation. So this operator A is, you can call it as d by dx now. Now, so because now you are looking at the L2 in minus infinity to infinity. So this integration is basically from minus infinity to infinity. Now I can integrate this term using UDV method, right? Yeah. So so our aim is this basically. So f ag, this one I can write it as f ag. If I can find, so this operator A is basically d by dx. If I can find something, this is same as some a dagger on f, a dagger on f g. Okay, so if I can find this equal, so this equal to this, and if I can find the a dagger, that is the adjoint of the operator A. So now A is d by dx. So what is the adjoint of that? That is our question. Then you can clearly see that this amounts to this one. So obviously this will amounts to something acting on this function into g of x. So for that purpose, to get that, what we will do is we will just integrate this one. So first integral will be UDV method. So this will be f star x g of x f star x g of x, then at the limit minus infinity to infinity minus integral dx d by dx of f star x into g of x. So now you can clearly see, so g of x is coming as a separate here, so there is some operator acting on f is there, but it is an f star x, so that we have to change it. Yeah. So what is this integral? So this integral, because you know that it is a L2 space, so this function should goes to 0 at infinity and minus infinity. So this quantity is 0. So the second term I can write it as dx so this d by dx of f star of x, I can write it as d by dx of f of x of star g of x. So this is correct, right? Yeah. So the question is whether I can write down this is equal to this. So if I have a complex function f of x, if I take the derivative of that and find the complex conjugate, is that same as the taking the derivative of complex conjugate of that function and taking the, yeah, so whether that is same as this. Yes, so the answer is, yeah, they are same. So because of that I have written like this. Obviously there is a minus sign here. Now you can see bra f ag, that was actually earlier, we have removed that, that was the this quantity. So this quantity was integral dx f star of x d by dx of g of x, right, and that is equal to something like, okay, so this minus I can bring it inside, So something like some operator acting on f of x and star, right, then g of x. So what is that sum operator? Right, that operator is minus d by dx. So the d by dx dagger equal to minus d by dx. So we are able to show that the adjoint of the operator d by dx is minus d by dx. So any questions? Okay.